Good afternoon, collectors, and welcome to Leighton's Loft. We have a very special episode ahead of us today. Lots to cover in a short period of time. And then at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by former major leaguer, unbelievable hitter, savage at the plate. Talk about a savage in the box, right?
Yeah.
Savage at the plate, almost 3,000 hits, almost 400 home runs. I was reading over his bio as Dougie was preparing it for me just a few minutes ago. It appears as though, this is according to Doug, so if it's wrong, we know who to blame, that he was the first professional athlete to earn $1 million a year.
Yes, he was. 5 years at $1 million a year in 79, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
First guy to average $1 million a year.
Unbelievable.
And the way I'm saying it right now is he's scheduled to join us because I didn't get a confirmation email today, but my source is pretty good. My booking is pretty good. So
sounds good. Well, we are excited nonetheless, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
I feel pretty good. It's just normally he sends me a little confirmation email, but I think we're good.
What's up, Ryan? What's going on, Chef and Ernie? What's going on, Cody? Hope all is well today. Hey, Jim, Ken, Susan, Matt, thanks for joining us here today. What's up, Orlando? On the Leighton's Loft podcast, sponsored, of course, by Vintage Breaks and Just Collect. We have an unbelievable giveaway in honor of Mr. Parker joining us. Nonetheless, we will move forward with the giveaway anyway, but it will, of course, be a little bit sweeter opening this 1975 Topps mini pack with him at the top of the hour. But even sweeter than that is that we're giving it away. So normally, Lou, we charge $55 a spot for these 10 spots in the pack.
Oh, holy cow.
Possible Brett rookie, Yount rookie, second year Dave Parker. We didn't have any 74 baseball, or if we did, we'd open that. Possible Dave Parker rookie. So what we're doing is across our social media accounts, Ben, Dougie, and the rest of the team has run a promotion where we're giving away a number of spots on social media. We're giving away 3 spots tonight right here live on Leighton's Loft. But unlike our other giveaways, Doug, we're not going to wait till the end of the show. What I propose, Lou, unless we hear otherwise from Mr. Parker, we're going to cut off all the entries at 4:55.
Okay.
So that way we can choose the 7 winners for today. But the first 3 winners, Lou, on today's Leighton's Loft are going to get a spot for free in the 1975 Topps mini pack where we're going to open with Dave Parker at the top of the hour.
Nice. Looking forward to this.
Yep. The fourth place prize will get the Dave Parker book, courtesy of Lou. Appreciate that, Lou.
Yep. And
the last 3 spots will get a free spot in our Break-A-Maniacs, i.e. the BAM promotion, and a chance at a $1,500 break credit to our website, vintagebreaks.com, where we have nearly 250 breaks for sale. I don't know if Chris Coe is live with us today, but man, he has lit my soccer fire. We just listed another soccer box today, 2019 finest.
Wow.
Some really fun stuff going on in the soccer world. What's up, Mark, Jim, Gary, Bry? What's up, Matt?
Yeah, you had a fun show last week. Jim was talking about last week's show. We had a blast.
Yeah, no, I heard about J5 decided that, I was down for the count, so why not just let loose? I don't blame you.
Yep.
I don't blame you. It seems like these guys had a good time. And, honestly, Lou, kudos to you and J5, the rest of the team. Back like a couple of years ago, I would have been like just so nervous what's going to happen, and, honestly, I might have even been sleeping at that point. I have no idea. Hopefully I was, but I don't, either that or playing around with Kraz and, having a good old time. So we got a bunch to cover in a short period of time as Dave Parker is supposed to join us today at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
For those of you who are somewhat newish to the show, thanks for joining us. The only way to qualify for any of the prizes we give away during our show is to watch us live. All the other knowledge, free. Take it with you, repackage it, right? Run a promotion like Gary Vee just did. He took this beautiful mug that we opened together, that tobacco pack, and him and his team put something out on YouTube. We opened it a year and change ago, and seems to be getting. I mean, it was funny. It was definitely a funny time. We thought we pulled the card. We got a coupon. The rest is history.
I love that. I love that clip. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's great, and apparently his team thought so as well. Whoa. So before we get started into some serious stuff, and by serious what I mean is just card stuff. So I normally don't wear a jacket, but Sam was kind enough to say, "Hey, Leighton, you wearing a new jacket today?"
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, I am, Sam. Thanks very much. I see Sam over there laughing. So I said, Sam, would you like to hear what's up, Sean? We need some action. I was just thinking about you the other day, Sean. I haven't seen anything in a little bit. To be fair, you may be sharing some of your memes with the team, but no one shares, or they don't share everything with me. So anyway, I've been playing a bunch of tennis, getting more serious about the game, figuring, it's probably time to upgrade my sneakers, seeing as how they have some holes in them. And I'm embarrassed to say, if my wife knew I was announcing this publicly, she would be very upset.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I'm trying to target specific tennis sneakers. They're telling me this is what you should buy. So
I need to know more about the sneakers you are wearing first before we move on to the sneakers.
They were Adidas, Adidas, what do you call those? The Zone Comfort, something or other. Nice. They have a hole in the toe. It's kind of embarrassing. I play at a nice place.
Did you buy them in the 2000s? Let's put it that
yes,
way.
I did.
Right.
Thank God.
Just making sure. Yeah,
so anyway, so Lou, I'm keeping the code on until the end of the story today. So effectively, I'm trying to get tennis shoes, doing everything I can, tennis sneakers, to get whatever, to do whatever I can to get them. And I order sneakers from online. I mean, I spend I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 Sundays ago, trying to over a course of taking breaks from my work, not an hour and a half straight.
Yeah.
But I could tell it added up to a bunch of times. I'm very, let's just say I'm a little crazy when it comes to this stuff, trying to pick out exactly what I want. So, great. Thanks. Not to me. You should email it to the team.
I did.
Okay, great. So anyway, Lou, some of them say they fit true to size. Some of the other sneakers are for clay court only.
Yep.
So I ultimately pull the trigger. It's $160. I get them in. I try them on at home, and my wife's real proud of me. I'm like, you're proud of me for ordering sneakers over the internet? She's like, no, you took a break for yourself, and you got some sneakers. So I put them on. I'm all excited. I'm like, these fucking things don't fit. They're like clown shoes. They're gigantic. These things said true to size. They're not even close. So needless to say, I returned them, and shout out to my buddy Justin, who's a pretty substantial hockey card collector. He goes, Leighton, you got to go down to Livingston. It's where all those swanky people go. I'm not swanky, obviously, with the holes in my shoe. So he goes, you got to go to High Country Ski and Tennis. Just the name itself reeks of goodness, right?
It means you need sounds like you need an ascot to go to that store.
So I get in there, Lou. I look in the distance. I'm like, wow, it's beautiful. They got a whole tennis sneaker department. I could try on the shoes. Oh, it's pretty funny, Kev. I could try on the shoes to my heart's galore. I'm probably 11 pairs deep.
Yep.
And they're looking at me like I'm psycho because I'm not, and I don't even ask any prices. I just say to him, this is what I'm looking for. I start off with maybe the Asics one. And then let's see what else they had. K-Swiss came later.
I told you to get Jordan sneakers.
They had really nice Adidas. Nothing was fitting or comfortable. A couple of them I'm screaming. He's like, you all right? I'm like, dude, you need a shoehorn for this? He's like, oh, that's a complaint for that shoe. I'm like, I don't want a tennis sneaker. I need a shoehorn to put on. I'm not in my 60s or 100s, whatever. I don't know when you need a shoehorn, but I don't need one now. So,
okay. See, I've got some questions here because this is revealing of your personality.
I know.
Because a lot of guys, as Rocco said, would just go to Foot Locker, try on 2 or 3 pairs, and just.
Well, I want to make a full disclosure. I got to take this off. It's actually very hot in here. So I've been to Dick's Sporting Goods, and I tried to buy tennis sneakers there, and I was not very happy with the selection, as well as when I say the selection, there was 3 pairs. It was here's a black pair, a white pair, and a blue pair, and they don't have all the sizes, and what? I just didn't feel that great about it. And I also wanted to buy a couple other things I thought would be fun. So my buddy tells me about this place. So we're 11 pairs deep, Lou.
Yep.
And Nothing's fitting whatsoever. So the guy goes, oh, try the K-Swiss. It's everyone's favorite shoe. It's the most comfortable. It's not, the most well-known he's basically trying to say it's not the swankiest. At this point, I'm sweating, man. I don't care what it is. Just get me a tennis sneaker. I can walk out of here with it. Fits. So I try on an 11. I try on a 10. I try to cram my foot in. It's not working.
Yep.
So he goes just like this. He goes, oh, you're a 10.5. Great. You have any 10.5? He goes, no. Seems to be a really popular size. So, needless to say, I said, listen, I'm going to try to walk around the store. He goes, no problem, but we're closing soon. I said, listen, I'm going to be spending some money here before I leave. So it was like supermarket sweepstakes. I said, I'll take a wristband. I'll take a headband. I'll take a jacket. I don't need a jacket.
Yep.
I have sneakers with holes in them. I need a new jacket.
This poor guy just wants to go home to his family, have dinner with his kids.
I know. Well, I think I gave a bunch of business though.
How many pairs of shoes do you have total?
Well, probably a bunch.
Yeah.
But not many that are allowed in the tennis rotation. Certainly not that many that are allowed in the wife approved rotation.
No, this is a bigger exercise to me. I'm getting insights into your personality here.
Oh, please.
Tennis shoes.
Oh, I don't have any tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 0 pairs.
No, I mean shoes in general. Like for example,
like how many pairs of total shoes?
I might have 6 or 8 pairs of shoes.
I can tell you exactly how many pairs. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch of old pairs of sneakers because I don't throw anything out. I have 1 pair of brown shoes.
Yep.
And I have 1 pair of black shoes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep. Wait a second. You're in New Jersey. You have to have boots or something, right?
I think I have boots that my wife yells at me. I don't throw them in the right. Yeah, I do have boots.
Okay.
I have boots.
So I
don't like them, but I have them.
Get to the source of this particularness about the sneakers because I'd just go get some sneakers.
Oh, so I'll tell you why. Because I've been wearing the same sneakers and I've been taking tennis lessons now for almost a year and a half, 2 years. And the guy who I take lessons from and who I play with at the club are literally embarrassing me. And they're like, Leighton, what the fuck is wrong with you? We know you can afford new sneakers. Why aren't you buying them? So to be very clear to Justin and all of you other people who are trying to shame me, it's working. And I'm going to be buying new sneakers. It's just a work in progress.
So this is about other people's opinions of you.
Yes, it's called fitting in, man. Absolutely. I like to wake up and fit in. I don't need to, be the friction in people's lives.
Okay, that's fine. We just could have started there. That's all.
You're always going to stand out.
So anyway, I show up to tennis.
You made it appear to us as if you were very particular about the sneakers and you were looking for a particular fit. And it's like,
no, I'm just looking for sneakers that are good. I want them to be nice and I'm excited to have them, So anyway, so I show up to tennis today, all excited to be outside. The guy's like, we're inside. I go, it's beautiful outside. I mean, I felt like I was in, 8th grade again. I'm like, but you're not making any sense. The courts are set up. He's like, but the ball, I swear to God, John, I love you if you're listening. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Because he knows about the show. So
Ben's right. What kind of lesson is this for your son? You should be standing up to peer pressure.
Believe me, I do plenty. I do plenty. That's for sure. So anyway, needless to say, he's like, the balls aren't set up. And for a minute or two, I'm like, you know what? We're just going to play tennis in my shoes with holes in them. But I said, do you like my new jacket? Anyway, moving on.
Wait a second. If Cody's
a paper towel or a tissue, man. It's getting hot up in here.
If Cody's with us right now, Cody walks for a living. So I want to know what kind of shoes he wears.
Probably New Balance.
Yeah. I want to know if he wears sneakers or he wears shoes. I don't know. What do postal workers wear? They got to know about the shoes to have.
Say we can get Newman on the line. That'd be great.
That was last week.
I know. I missed it. I was a little bit bummed out about that. So email me the winners VB. Perfect.
3 more.
Yeah, we're gonna do that at 4:55.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Let me ask you. You weren't here. You didn't see the show. I take it.
No, I did not.
All right. So let me ask you the trivia question that started the whole thing.
Oh, great.
The trivia question that I said this is great for Leighton's Loft. What is George Costanza's middle name?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, man.
It showed up in 2 episodes. It was mentioned 2
and
episodes.
I watched them all, George.
I know. And
Lewis.
Yes. Did you just pull that out?
Yeah. I watched every episode.
Good for you. Yeah.
Do I win anything?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. You get to do the rest of the show.
Yeah, very cool. Well, moving on in other news, I realized we took up too long with the tennis story. So a couple of things here. One, hobby love obviously means different things to different folks. Just a few days ago, we ran a post that was a graded card sales post in our Vintage Breaks buy sell trade group. So if you haven't already,
Yeah.
you should jump on in. And we gave away anyone who posted that day, Lou. Not only did you have a chance to sell your card for free, but we also gave away a $42 break credit in honor of Jackie Robinson Day, which was fairly recent.
Right.
And so out of that group of cards, we bought several of them here at Vintage Breaks.
That had a good response. There was a lot of comments and a lot of action. Yeah. Some cards got sold. It was nice.
Some cards got sold. I wasn't the only one buying cards, which was cool. I felt bad for buddy of the show wanted to buy a card and it was sold. But nonetheless, I'm always willing to sell. Like if I get a card right in, and you want to buy it because you missed it, just contact me. But speaking of hobby love, this was one of the cards we bought. It was Johnny Padres 57 Topps from the Tough series. This is a PSA 7. And what I'd like to do is give away this card on next week's show.
Ooh, nice.
And let's ask a Brooklyn Dodger related question, Lou.
Okay, I'll dig one up.
But I want folks to know that, when we're posting stuff, for example, like, hey, list a graded card for sale, of course, we like to buy cards, but we're not doing it for us, meaning here at Vintage Breaks or Just Collect or at OTA Sports. We're doing it for the community. So I want folks to see that, for, like I said, hobby love can mean a lot of things to a lot of different folks. Yes, Daniel, thanks again. But I thought the community would appreciate that. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a great ball player for the Brooklyn Dodgers. PSA 7 is a nice card, and it is from the Tough series of 57 Topps baseball. So I thought someone would appreciate giving it away to the community. So we're going to give that away next week in a special hobby love giveaway.
Nice. I like it.
All right. So I probably would have spent a few more minutes on all these topics. However, the tennis story just consumed everything, and then
it was an important story.
Very important. Yeah. Well, we got to know each other better, Lou.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. This is a community. We all get to know each other a little bit.
Thanks for joining us here today at Leighton's Loft. You can find us every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time with myself and, of course, Lou, our co-host. Just a few minutes. We're hoping we'll be joined by Dave Parker. I wanted to let everyone know what's going on kind of with Just Collect and Vintage Breaks in terms of expansion. So we're hiring here. We're actually running out of room in our current facility in terms of people that we can fit.
Yep.
So if you feel like you have a skill set that would be helpful to the team and you want to work remote, please hit us up, Leighton at justcollect.com, and let me know what you are looking for. All kidding aside, we're just about to launch our blog. Now, Monty will be blogging for us, but we're going to have potentially others do that as well. Always looking for folks who have, let's say, experience in event marketing, sponsorship marketing, things of that nature, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So you can always drop me a line, Leighton at justcollect.com.
I'll talk to you after the show.
Sounds good. Well, we already got. We're working on team physician. We could use a team physician, but you know what? We need a team first. Like, to be fair, this is pre-COVID. So back in the day at Leland's, I was responsible for. It was not pretty, but we put together a softball team. And we started off with like the greatest aspirations. We're going to be joining the league. We just ended up playing, against each other, and nonetheless, it was still highly entertaining. And we only did it a few times, but it's one of those things you just never forget. So, Craig, I'll let you know if the softball team starts up here, we might need a team physician.
There you go.
The salsa, yeah, it's a good Seinfeld reference. What's up, Donald? How are you? Hey, Tyler, thanks for joining us. So one of the ways I wanted to share with you that we're expanding is, not just on the breaking side with Vintage Breaks, but also on the Just Collect side in terms of, the buying and selling of whether it be people's collections or buying out of auctions or, anything really in between. But we've been so inundated, with, leads, both via email, phone, or generally how they come in. Excuse me, but even referrals, Lou.
Yeah.
So, Darren Ravel's kind enough to refer us leads and some of my other friends and some of the folks have, great collections, Jordan, rookie sets, so on and so forth. And so, I mean, we've had the same verbiage for some time with our emails, but it's become excellent, Stephen, team lawyer. We're all set for the softball team, case of injury and such. I just saw Logan's comment. He could be the VV mascot. Hey, listen, someone's got to be. I appreciate you volunteering. It makes it a lot easier, So anyway, we become so busy, Lou, that
what would the dead nut scented mascot costume look like?
I'm not sure, but I'm I have some ideas. I'll go over those with Sean Dooley. I think he could probably put something fun together for us. So in regards to the automatic email that we send out to people when we get contacted via email, it's become so crazy with the amount of people that contact us on a daily basis. Now we're very grateful and thankful, but understand that most of the collections that contact us are, hey, I have cards from the 80s and 90s, or I have baseball cards.
Right.
And, to be fair, we don't try to write that off, but it's become, like we'd like to know what kind of baseball cards you have. Maybe you just didn't realize we wanted to know you had a 49 Woman Jackie or a 52 Mantle, whatever the case is. So it's become so crazy that we had to change our verbiage so that people will understand that if you don't hear from us, candidly, we're just not interested.
Yeah.
But this is how busy we've become. And so I'm reading this aloud because I'm not happy about this or proud. This is just a reflection of how busy we've become as an organization, meaning at Just Collect. What's up, Lucas? And I think it's what's going on. And the reason why I'm certainly not comparing us to PSA, but I heard through the grapevine CGC said today by April 28th, send in your cards or they're changing prices. So this has nothing to do with prices. This has to do with service.
Right.
But I just want people to understand that, we're just a small business in America. I don't want to say just trying to make it, right? Like we're working hard and we're doing more than just trying to make it. We're trying to grow and prosper and succeed. And so, this is verbiage that we've now amended. I'm going to read to you verbatim, Lou. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I changed this and collaborated with Julie, my beautiful and very intelligent wife, and then J5 and myself, because, we wanted to send the right message to people. We didn't want people to be writing us, Lou, and saying, hey, like you guys aren't writing us back. Are you, lazy or you don't care? The complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's that we're so inundated and so busy, we can no longer render the service as we originally thought we'd be able to, which was effectively a free appraisal service, within 24 or 48 business hours.
Sure.
And so this is what we've changed it to, Ben. Thank you for your email to Just Collect. We appreciate that you took the time to read and inquire about our services. We will follow up with you in the next 24 to 72 hours if we have interest in purchasing your collection. We are honored to receive a high number of inquiries each day. Not all collections fall within the type of material that we may be pursuing at a given time. While we endeavor to respond to each inquiry, response times may vary. Therefore, if you do not hear back from us within 72 hours, then please conclude that we cannot purchase or appraise your collection at this time. We suggest that you consider your local card shops, card show conventions, eBay, and Facebook groups. And understand, once again, I don't say this like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Like, I'm super excited. This is a reality of people are writing us and thinking like we're ignoring them. We're not. We're just overwhelmed.
Yep.
And we didn't really know what else to do. So this is what we're doing. And so I could understand companies shutting down or changing the way they're doing business, in the face of being inundated and overwhelmed is my point.
But I love the approach because it shows much more of what the Vintage Breaks community and Just Collect community is. You're being honest with people and being straightforward and, just dealing directly. And that's how people want to be dealt with.
I agree with you. It's interesting. And I know we're hopefully in a minute or two away. Oh, we got to choose the names.
Yes, we have to choose the names.
Great. So we'll cut off that story and choose the names.
When you broke that mantle a few years back on the show, I was there. Did you ever envision things taking off like this? Did you have an idea where this was headed? And that wasn't too long ago, actually.
No, it wasn't. David, it's a great question. I would say before that, we were, let's say like this was the angle, I don't know if you could tell from my hand, like we were going up a little bit and it was still a passion project. I remember sitting with my former partner, David Gelfman, a shout out to him, at the National shortly after it happened, talking with Darren Ravel, basically saying to him in a very, and I'm not an aggressive, I don't think I'm an aggressive person, but in an aggressive way, like, hey, man, if you don't want the story, totally cool, but I'm going to call someone until I get someone who's interested, and someone's going to love this story, believe me. And needless to say, he ran with it. It took off. So when we woke up the next day, and it was like, on national media news outlets like the USA Today and the Washington Post, that's when I realized, like, wow, this could get really big. But even at that point where we are today, I didn't envision either. But I don't think it's because of an iconic moment like that.
Right.
I think that it's a combination of catching some lightning in a bottle,
Sure.
With everything going on in the world. And then, we were just the first of its kind in the space to be opening up other than the current product coming out.
But isn't it wonderfully ironic that the fission to this whole business was that break? It was the very essence of the whole business, which is
very much so.
Frank, anything could happen.
Especially when you're getting down, and I don't want to get over dramatic, but you're literally on the second to last card, which ironically, I think Johnny Padres was on the bottom.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think he was. And Mickey Mantle was 19. And, people talk about with packs, can you move stuff around? Can you see? This 55 Bowman solo pack had been literally, on display for sale. And I remember, we pulled it, and that person we had bought it from, they said they didn't believe that card was pulled. And needless to say, it was not only pulled, but it graded a 9, and quite an amazing journey. So let's choose the winners for today. Leighton's Loft.
3 names.
We're gonna have 7 winners, but 3 names for the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shout out to Ben and Dougie and the rest of the social media team here at Vintage Breaks. Did a good job of executing this short window we had.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with this idea kind of last minute, this morning. I didn't have 74 baseball to open Dave Parker's rookie year pack, but second year I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
Very cool, Tyler. Yeah, that will forever be ingrained in my history. That's for sure. So, Tyler, we're not going to necessarily have a reality show, but Ben, we talked about it as I start coming into NYC more. We're going to be doing more filming like we did. Our shout out to our friends at Bleecker Trading, where we're going to be going to various shops or spots. Hopefully, there's a big deal soon in the city that we need some assistance.
Hopefully, doing more fun tobacco opening with Gary.
Yeah, no, that was pretty wild. I won't bring a screwdriver next time.
Except we hope he doesn't come dead 10 times.
Yeah. So, do you guys need me to do anything for the list here or whatnot? J5 or Dougie?
I have the list written down. I just need 3 more names on it.
Randomizing the list? Okay.
No, I only need 3 more names. We need,
We know, but we give away 7 in the Loft.
Oh, yeah.
7 prizes.
They have the other list, though. Sorry.
It's all good.
Which way?
No indication on pre-sale for the National, Ken, but if you are on Instagram and or Twitter, they did just come out with a post recently basically stating that they're going to let everyone know by June 1st, I think, effectively what's up. Certainly our fingers crossed for not just the National and the team there, but, Breakomaniacs, collectors, investors, dealers, kids. There's just so many people that, if it's 2 years in a row without a National, effectively that's 3 years since the last, it's a bummer, but, we'll have to take it as it comes. So Doug, you email the list to us.
Yeah, I'm not sending.
Okay, so this is the list. All right. Great, you want me to roll?
Let me just get
Can they see the screen or no?
we got to Lou, you want to share the
Yes. We've got Dave when we get a chance to.
Great.
There we go.
I should have shown it there. And yep, go for it.
3 times.
3 times. All right.
So the first 3 winners today on Leighton's Loft are going to win free spots in the 1975 Topps mini pack giveaway that we're going to open today with Mr. Parker.
And 3. Okay, official list.
This is 7 winners, not 6.
7 winners for Ben. You sent me a list to randomize. Is that the one you're talking about?
John,
Yeah,
I need
3 more.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I need the list of people from Leighton's Loft today that commented from Doug.
I have that.
And then we randomize it 3 times. We choose it, 7 winners. The top 3 will get a spot in the 75 mini pack. You'll add that to Ben's list.
Mhm.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, let's bring Mr. Parker in. We can talk with him, and
Excellent.
we'll straighten out the draw.
All right, so 3 times. 1.
Hey, John, Mr. Parker is joining us. You need to do anything to set this up?
Nope.
Okay. Could you remove that so we can see the screen, please?
Okay, these are the winners. Just want to let everybody know. Top 7.
Mr. Parker, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight.
Okay, no problem.
I'm Lou, that's Leighton, and this is Leighton's Loft. This is from Leighton, runs Just Collect and Vintage Breaks, baseball card companies that basically you buy slots and cards and you open them up. We're going to do one with you tonight of the 75 Topps, and people win the card. So hopefully we can talk about some of the players you played with really early in your career while we break the pack.
Okay,
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Parker. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
That's good. We really appreciate you joining us. We chose this 1975 Topps mini pack to open with you today because it's your second year is possible that we may get in this pack. And if we get it, we're going to send it out to you. What's also possible in this pack is George Brett's rookie card, Robin Yount's rookie card, and some of the greats like Nolan Ryan and Pete Rose. There's 10 cards in the pack. We have 1 spot reserved for you in case we pull your card so we can send it out to you. And the other 9 cards we're going to be giving away today live on our show.
Okay,
So before we open the pack, why don't you tell us the name of your new book that just came out and what was the inspiration behind the book?
it was about time that I started talking about myself. Everybody else had an opinion of me, and I said I might as well get in the hunt with everybody else and tell the people what Dave Parker's really about.
That's great.
What was the moment when was there a particular moment that when you decided you were going to write the book? I don't know if you get approached by your co-author about writing the book, or maybe something and just said, yep, it's time. I'm going to sit down and tell my story.
Well, David Jordan was the guy that came to me, and I was thinking about doing it years ago, and I finally got around to finding somebody to help co-write it with me, and it was David Jordan. So we put together Cobra, a life. A Parkinson is bothering me.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to give away a copy of
baseball and brotherhood.
Okay. All right. So I have to ask you, let me lead off with this question. I'm sure it's the first question everybody asks. And up here, I'm from New England. I'm from the Boston area. And right now we're dealing with moving on after Tom Brady. You came in at the end of Roberto Clemente. You essentially took over for Roberto Clemente, which is an unenviable position. Did you feel the pressure of assuming the mantle for Roberto Clemente in right field for Pittsburgh?
Well, that's what everybody thought my intentions were, but I was just basically trying to establish myself as a first Dave Parker. Roberto was the great one. He had above average everything, above average hitter, above average runner, above average arm. He was an outstanding player. So I wanted to come in and make my mark as Dave.
That must have been a hard thing to do, but I think that Mr. Parker, for anyone, whether it be playing baseball or another sport, you find yourself always wanting to try to perform at a high level. And as soon as you start comparing yourself to someone else, or, for example, trying to hit a home run every time you come up to the plate, it makes the game really difficult. And so I could imagine that, in the beginning, at least those pressures may have been great, but I like your answer of you're just trying to be the first Dave Parker and be as great as Dave Parker could be. How did that go for you earlier in your career?
Well, it went well because I'm a strong believer in my ability, and I felt all the time that I should have been in the big leagues at 19. So I went in with that attitude that my ability had carried me, and I was behind schedule anyway. So I felt like I should have been in the big leagues at 19 years old.
Now, maybe a few years have softened your opinion of it, but I remember you speaking years ago about how Pittsburgh wasn't necessarily the greatest environment to play with, but that clubhouse was full of such great personalities. It was such a swashbuckling team. The clubhouse, was that an enjoyable clubhouse to play in, or was it so full of personality that sometimes it was a struggle between you guys?
No, it was fun. I mean, it was like entertainment. It was like coming to a show, a comedy show. We had guys like myself, Doc Ellis, Willie Stargell, Richie Hebner was a funny guy. Steve Blass was a very funny guy. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it, the clubhouse, because it kind of let pressure out the back door with us. We were all about getting runs and beating people.
Yeah, you guys had some good teams back then. Do you remember, from early in your career, did any of your, teammates or former buddies from the minor leagues have an odd job in the off season in baseball? Because I know there's been some funny stories of, players early in their careers before they knew that they were going to make it, doing something interesting in the off season, like being a golf caddy or something like that.
There might have been a few guys that did something other than baseball, but I was playing winter ball every year, so I was trying to perfect my talents. So I really concentrated on playing winter ball in Dominican Republic and Venezuela.
When you played winter ball, did you have to elect to do that, or were you selected from a small group of folks that could go over and play there?
Well, I chose to play a lot of it myself. I played about 6 years, and I played 3 of them because I wanted to play, and other ones was because of financial. They paid well.
That's great. And you got to live over there as well, in nice accommodations and such?
Yeah, it was nice. I lived in a upper middle class community. They provided a car, and played for Magallanes, which was probably the best known club in Venezuela.
Now, Dave, your legend started way back. I've read tale of a home run that you hit in AAA for the Charlestown Charlies in West Virginia. You hit this ball, and they found the ball in Columbus, Ohio. You remember that homer?
Yeah, I was at the plate, and the guy threw me I think it was a breaking ball, slider, and it broke right out over the plate, and I hit it, and it landed in a coal car. It looked like a big diamond sitting up amongst all that coal.
Landed on a train going by the ballpark, and they found the ball in Columbus, Ohio.
That's unbelievable.
Right.
I never heard that story before, Mr. Parker. That's great.
Yeah, I hit the longest home run in baseball's history from Charleston, West Virginia to Columbus.
Have you ever signed a baseball that said that?
No, that's a good idea, though. I think I start.
I think you should start. I would be the first customer. I think that's awesome.
Now, we're watching some highlights of the 79 World Series, and the Pirates, like the Oakland A's, who you played for later, were the early teams in developing these types of uniforms where they had hundreds of combinations. Were there any of those combinations that you particularly hated that you didn't want to go out in, like the all-yellow uniform? Did you
That's the one that got me in Stargell it was calling us a school bus. They had yellow uniforms, and I guess we reminded people of being a bus. But me and Stargell had that saying around baseball about the yellow uniform. We had about 12 combinations, but the yellow and black one was my favorite. and the striped one was my least favorite.
Okay. But the big yellow one was okay.
It was okay because we was making enough noise that people didn't pay no attention to it.
Now, were you fortunate enough to keep any of your early jerseys or caps that you wore during the games?
I got 2 World Series jerseys, and I had a couple playoff jerseys, so I got a lot of jerseys.
Well, if you ever need free appraisal services, please check out my other company, justcollect.com.
Give it a reference.
That's fantastic. It really is awesome. Do folks in your family ever ask, hey, Uncle, can you show us any of your baseball relics, or is it kind of hidden away, right now?
Well, I just took my MVP trophy out of storage and my golden glove, one of my golden gloves.
Wow.
I got some of the stuff in the house now.
One of our listeners, Sean, asks, who is your favorite manager you played for, and whose career do you feel impacted you the most as a leader and a mentor?
Well, Stardew was like a big brother or father, so he had the biggest impression on me. I mean, I just followed him around because he was a true major leaguer and had a universal personality, and I enjoyed being around him.
That's great. Well, we don't want to keep you too long here. We'd like to open the pack with you to see if there's any of the players from back in the day you remember playing with. And if we're lucky and fortunate enough, we might just get your second-year card.
Okay.
Ready to go, John? All right. Good luck to the 10 people that are in this pack. Classic Wax, Ken, Steve, Nate, Matt, Tyler, Nixon, Cobra. You have spot 8, which is you. We're going to give you card number 8. Unless you get a Dave Parker, you're going to get that card regardless. Lauren, Franklin, and Ernie, we are giving this pack courtesy away today, courtesy of Vintage Breaks. Good luck to each and every one of you in this unopened treasure.
All right, Dave, if you have any memories about any of these players that show up, we'd love to hear them.
Okay.
Oh, this is so cool. Like it was meant to be. Spot number 1. Now, I'm no baseball historian, but I knew right off the bat, this is, I think, a former teammate of yours, Al Oliver?
Al Oliver played center field and was a line drive hitter, one of the best hitters in baseball.
Now, did Al ever show you anything, or did you show Al something?
Well, it's all in the pudding. Just read the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves.
All right, we're going to be moving on from Mr. Oliver. Oh, wow. We just pulled a huge card for Ken Benowitz, a free Nolan Ryan, one of the best cards you can get in the whole set, Mr. Parker. It's all about the centering. We're flipping it over. Come on. Wow, that's a beauty. So you're probably not used to crazy lunatics yelling at you on a average Wednesday afternoon, and I apologize for that. But this is a beautiful baseball card we have right here. It's a little bit off left to right. It's still my grade PSA 8, but this is a monster hit for free. Former fireballer Nolan Ryan. Do you remember going up against him?
Yeah, Nolan had a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and if his curveball was working, you had a long day. Because if he had his curveball working with that fastball, he was virtually impossible to hit.
Who is the pitcher, Dave, that you worried about most in the box? Did you cross careers with? You didn't cross careers with Bob Gibson, did you?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
I did. I took him deep, but he never hit me. Everybody told me to be loose, and he never did drill me.
Who's the guy who put that fear in you in the box, though? And that's probably strong for you because I'm guessing you weren't scared of anything. But who is the guy you kind of worried about bodily harm a little bit for a pitcher?
No bodily harm because I could handle myself. But the toughest pitcher I faced was Steve Carlton.
Oh,
he had a slider that was unhittable when he had it working middle of the plate out.
Lefty on lefty, it's got to be nasty, yeah.
Yeah, lefty was nasty. He struck me out 3 times a game, and I hit more home runs off of him than any other pitcher I'd faced, and he struck me out more than any pitcher I ever faced.
Yeah.
So it was
Sounds like a love-hate relationship.
right. I would have thought twice about going to the mound against him too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Very cool. We're off to a great start in this pack. Next up is Ron Fairley, formerly of the Expos.
I remember the name, but I can't pinpoint if he played third base or catch. I can't remember.
I want to say third base.
It says first base outfield, but it was later in his career. Yeah, his rookie was, he was with the Dodgers for a long time before the Expos. Doug Bird is next. I believe he's spot 5 for Matt.
Who did you have the most trouble with, Dave? The soft tossers or the velocity guys?
Velocity was no problem. You couldn't shoot a baseball past me down and inside.
I'll bet, yeah.
I lived off of fastballs.
I hope that quote's in the book.
Well, it is now.
Good. I was saying we'd like to maybe get you to sign one of those like that. We'll pay extra premium. We can give that away. That's an awesome quote.
Yeah.
I had to put that on a shirt.
Yeah, I like that. Next up is Paul Splittorff.
Yep.
Of the Royals.
I'm guessing you two didn't cross paths.
I don't think so.
Yes, we did. I think he was a left-hand pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Stan Banson is next of the White Sox.
Sam Bonson, yep.
So when you were a youngster, Mr. Parker, did you collect or flip baseball cards at all?
I flipped them. I lived a block away from Crosley Field.
Oh.
And, we used to come out and hustle baseballs that was hit out of the park and sell them to the fans. And I had a collection of baseball cards that we used to play against the wall. And we flipped the cards, and closest get to the wall got the cards. That's how I got my baseball card collection.
That's great. Now, do you still have that today?
I wish I did.
So I wish you did too. So when you were, as you said, hustling those baseballs, I love it. Did you, at that point, have a love for the game and have that drive that you wanted to become a ball player, or was way too early in your life?
Well, I started playing at about 8 years old, and living a block away from Crosley Field, you had association with the players. And Frank Robinson and Vader Pinson had these white Thunderbirds with the porthole windows, and they were white with red interior. And just seeing them come into the ballpark every day right behind each other just enhanced my desire to play baseball even more.
As I was watching your highlights earlier today, watching some videos, it occurred to me that Darryl Strawberry paid a lot of attention to you as a hitter, because Darryl Strawberry's swing looks a lot like yours. Did you model your swing after anybody's?
Not really. I was short and quick, and that's the way I hit. And the guy that knew more about my batting stance and my hitting stance was Willie Stargell. He would be the closest guy to having an impact on me.
All right, a little bit later in the career, you moved on to the Oakland A's, which was another at least interesting clubhouse. I'm curious how much you enjoyed being in that clubhouse with Canseco and McGuire and Ricky Henderson. And was Tony La Russa the manager of that team at that point?
Yes, he were.
Yeah. How was that clubhouse? Was it fun? They seemed like personalities too, but they seemed like pretty easygoing guys for the most part.
They were. I was the guy that was loud and got on guys, talked about guys. That was always my role. But McGuire was pretty straight to the book. And Seiko just wanted to let me play baseball and leave me alone. Dave Henderson was really a a fun guy. Ricky Henderson was a great guy. He was like a professional shopper. We used to go out and shop together. But we had a pretty loose group, and Tony La Russa was probably the most prepared manager I ever played for. But the best all-around manager was Chuck Tanner.
And Tanner played a big role in that Pittsburgh clubhouse, right? He was a big influence on keeping that clubhouse together and keeping you guys on the rails.
Yeah, he said something that stick with me even today. I use it in my business when I own the Popeye Chicken franchises. You govern with one eye and one ear. You don't hear everything and you don't see everything. And that's something that stuck with me ever since I played with the Pirates.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
It is great. We're gonna go. Ooh, we got another cool card coming up. Do you remember Pedro Garcia?
Yeah, vaguely.
He had some chops on him. He looks like he's a former Brewer. But the next card is really cool. We have a Lou Brock highlights card when he stole an incredible 118 bases.
Yeah, Lou was the man in his day. And it took a guy like Ricky to come out and dethrone him. But Lou could hit. He was a 300 hitter. Hit you about 16 home runs or 20 home runs. He was a heck of a player.
Yeah, I could only imagine the disruption he would have on a pitcher if he got on base.
What was that?
I could only imagine if he got on base, back in the day, the kind of disruption he would cause for the pitcher.
Yeah, he was tough. I played first base in '74, and we played against the Cardinals. And I think I held Lou Brock to no stolen bases, so they tell me. Dave Jordan tells me these stats, and he was telling me that Lou didn't steal a base that day. And I said it had nothing to do with me.
Well, lastly, it's kind of fitting. I'm not sure if you're comfortable talking about it, but we have an Astros team card. What do you think about the Houston Astros?
They got a great club. It was hard to play in that dome, and they had one of the best pitching staffs during my era that in the National League. They had Scott, Ryan, J.R. Richards. They had a couple other guys that was tough, but they were tough.
Did your Pirates or Reds or A's ever steal signs?
No, we didn't have to. We were too busy running, beating out doubles and triples.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think you understand. Now that we've hired a full-time social media manager, Mr. Parker, Ben, I've literally just thought of 2 or 3 things you said in the last few minutes that are going to be great little nuggets when we replay this interview about shooting. No one could shoot a baseball past him. This is fantastic. So just to recap this pack again, we started off with former buddy Al Oliver, but then the big hit of the pack came in the second card, fireballer Nolan Ryan. So the 8th card was Pedro Garcia. So we were hoping it was going to be a Dave Parker card for you, but at least we got you a original, authentic 1975 Topps baseball card.
All right, that sounds like a winner.
But before we let you go, we'd like to ask you again the name of the book and where folks can find it, where they can order it.
A life baseball and baseball brotherhood.
Lou, you can fix that.
Cobra, we're going to send. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry about that. We're going to send a copy of the book to a winner that we had tonight. Tell me a little bit about you broke out of the minor leagues. Did you break out of the minor leagues as a catcher? Or did you make the switch to outfield before you hit the majors?
No, I signed as a catcher, and I ran the 60 one day, and they threw me an outfielder's glove because they said I had too much speed to be a catcher.
Yeah, you're too tall too to be a catcher, aren't you?
Well, I was 6'5", 220. So I could unfold pretty good at that time.
It worked out okay. 3 consecutive Gold Gloves, right?
Right.
So it was a good decision.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay,
Thank
my
you.
my Parkinson is acting up. So yeah, it's been about a half an hour.
Yeah. We'll let you go, Mr. Parker. We appreciate your time so much. Good luck with the book, and we'll tell everybody about the book and get some sold for you.
All right. I'm sorry that my Parkinson came into play.
You don't have anything to be sorry about whatsoever. We're very grateful and thankful that you could join us today.
Okay, have a good one.
Yeah,
You had a great one. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Love that.
Oh, I mean, unbelievable. You know, I'll tell you, Lou, there's something to me about talking to the players from the era. Like, I'm not saying I like talking to the folks I've never seen play.
Yep.
But like, I remember Dave Parker as a kid. Like this, if I could hit the ball like him, like I could play in the major league. Now, of course, I never could. But like, you try to emulate. Like he was someone I try to emulate. You know, as a hitter, like rocket hitting, and it's hard.
These guys are fun from this era are very fun because the game has got, I know this is cliche, but the players and the speech and the interviews and all the press and how we have contact with the players is so, to use a word, corporate now. It's so veneered. It's so homogenized. These guys back from the 70s and 80s and 60s, they'll tell you stories and they'll tell you the straight dope too. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I didn't know if we were going to try to do something with Rose again. Pete Rose.
Yep.
And then I saw like celebrating his 80th birthday. And, you know, you don't want to like take things for granted. So I think I'm going to try to reach out, cards. When we first had Pete Rose on, it was like just at the beginning of everything, right? Like people were almost looking at me like, Leighton, no athlete's going to want to talk to you about baseball cards and the breaks and stuff. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll just see.
No, that's crazy. I mean, even some of the experiences we've done, Rick Barry comes to mind, where you're just opening the packs and it's just stories about guys. You know, it's not about the cards. It's about them telling stories about the guys they played with and played against.
Totally agree. And Lou, once you and I figure that out together, we've had some good cooking here.
Yep. Excellent. He had a story. He had a run-in with Pete Rose when he was managing the Reds. He was very happy to leave Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh, he didn't feel it was a great experience. He thought there was some racial issues in Pittsburgh and things like that, and went to Cincinnati, went back home. He's a Cincinnati guy, loved playing for the Reds. And according to him, Pete Rose had admitted this in an interview afterwards, there was just a personality clash. You know, Pete Rose wanted to run the clubhouse, and Dave Parker was such a popular player and such a leader that Pete felt he had too much of a share of the clubhouse, and that precipitated the trade to Oakland.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't pull a Pete Rose, but boy, do we pull a good card today. I don't know if everyone realizes how good this card is. I was looking it up after. I don't know if it'll have a chance. This is an amazing pull for a 75 mini pack. And free.
Yep. There you go. Little off left to right, but nice looking card.
Yeah. All right, well, that is today's show, Leighton's Loft. You can find us each and every Wednesday starting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks again to each and every one of you for tuning in. And, of course, special thanks to Mr. Parker for joining us today, the Cobra. Good afternoon, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll have Sam and J5 taking over in just a bit. Thanks, Lou.
We'll see you later.
Sam, I'm going to leave.